I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I
Doesn't
didn't
matter
actually
to
say
me.
that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
What about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and stuff like that, which is bad.
We may have to rename this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Good morning. Let me tell you about a man named William Dudley Peely. Most folks have never even heard of him. He wasn't a war hero or a great thinker. He was a failed screenwriter who got it in his head during the 1930s that what America really needed was fascism. He started a group called the Silver Legion of America, our own knockoff of the Nazi brown shirts, uniform salutes, the whole deal. He published a magazine, ran for president in 1936 on a platform rooted in authoritarian control, anti-Semitism, and militant nationalism. He called FDR a Jewish pawn. He made it crystal clear he wanted a country ruled by one man, not by law, not by votes. Then came World War II, and when America went to war against fascism, Peely found himself on the wrong end of a court ring. Not because of who he was, but because of what he had said and how he said it. The courts decided his speech posed a danger to national security. He was convicted of sedition and locked up. That was 1942. Now fast forward 80 years and we've got a kid named Connor who goes by Pine Sap sitting across from Mehdi Hassan, declaring that he wants authoritarian rule. Not just in some abstract way. No, he flat out said he doesn't believe in the Constitution, that he rejects our republic. He sympathized with fascists, smiled through it, and acted like it was just another take in a sea of hot takes. And then he got fired. Not jailed, not silenced, not disappeared, just fired. Because when you say publicly that you admire the same system that murdered 6 million Jews and flattened Europe, most Americans aren't going to welcome you with a handshake and a job application, unless it's Stu Peters or Nick Fuentes. They're going to show you the exit. This isn't about corporate policy or wokeness or diversity training. It's older than that. It's about something Americans have always known. Speech is free. Trust is not. You can stand in the middle of a town square and scream that you want to destroy the system. The police won't drag you off, but if you work at a coffee shop or a tech company or a gas station and your boss sees that video of you advocating for dictatorship, you might not be on the schedule Monday. And that's not oppression. That's a lesson. The Constitution, it protects you from government punishment. It doesn't protect you from being a jackass in public. It doesn't guarantee you a spot on someone else's payroll. After you tell the world you would rather live under a boot than under the Bill of Rights. The founders knew speech could be a real danger. That's why the First Amendment was written to protect the people from their leaders, not to protect idiocy from accountability. We don't silence people, we don't imprison them for bad opinions, but we also don't pretend every opinion is worth keeping around or listening to. Now back to this kid. After the video blew up, he ran to social media begging for donations, said he couldn't find work, claimed it was all unfair. There's nothing unfair about people drawing lines. The same Constitution he dismissed is the only reason he wasn't arrested. It gave him the freedom to open his mouth, and everyone else the freedom to say, no thanks, shut up. History has a long memory when it comes to this kind of thing. From Stryker in Germany to Paley in the States, who actually tried to become our Fuhrer in a suit and tie. People have flirted with fascism almost always end up learning the hard way. Not through violence, not through censorship, but through exile, embarrassment, and the cold realization that this country, imperfect as it may be, doesn't take kindly to tyranny, spoken or otherwise. You're free to say almost anything in this country, but once it's out there, don't expect people to separate your speech from your soul. If you say you want chains, don't be surprised when people stop trusting you with the keys. 7 o'clock tonight. If you like the show, stop on by. It'll be myself and Leroy. Can't wait to see you. Have a good one.